Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about Uranus transiting the fifth house in a natal chart. Now, on average, Uranus will traverse a house for approximately 7 years. However, if your house size is a little bit larger than average, then Uranus will be in there for a little bit of a longer duration. If your house size is a little bit smaller than average, then Uranus will be in there for a little bit of a smaller period. Well, anyway, people, the first thing I look at when Uranus transits one's natal fifth house, this could be a period where they might experience some disruption, some upheavals and fluctuation, change in matters connected with romance. If you are unattached, you might wind up dating someone for a little bit, and then you might get tired of it, or there's some problem, or there's some argument or disagreement. You have some disparities in opinions, and then you go on to someone else, and maybe it might be hard finding that right person, or it could simply indicate that a person you may be attracted to or might form some love relationship during this time might be somewhat ingenious, eccentric, a little bit unorthodox, or unconventional in some way, shape, or form. This could be a time too, if you have children, that children might be acting a little bit more unconventional or unorthodox. It could be a time where maybe one or more children may be showing some genius qualities in them, or at least that's how you may perceive them at this time. It could be a time where they might appear at least somewhat rebellious to you, maybe during this period. Could also indicate, if this is a woman and it's somebody, as far as being a woman, it could be where what may happen is it could be a spontaneous thing as far as being pregnant, and it might be unanticipated pregnancy, or there could be something with the child being born maybe exceptionally early or exceptionally late. It might be something unusual with the delivery. And anyway, also what's possible here is that computers, electronics could meet creativity during this time, because Uranus is associated with computers and electronics, and the fifth house is, of course, the house of creativity. So this could be a time where, for example, someone could be interested in something where they would incorporate the two, such as maybe computer graphics, art design would be one example. And really, this is a time where you may simply have unadulterated, uninhibited fun at this period. You don't want to be held back by any restraints, and this is a time where you might seek unusual forms of enjoyment, or at least things that are different than what you ordinarily may be accustomed to. Now, the fifth house is also connected with speculation and gambling. And if this is somebody that's a gambler, this could be somebody that might experience a lot of fluctuation, maybe with their winnings. Maybe the person might come into an exorbitant amount of money at one time, and then the next minute may lose virtually all of it, or maybe even all of it, might have a prodigious loss. So really, it could really be that ideas connect. Creative ideas may come very extemporaneously and very quickly. If you're a person that is unattached, it could be you may meet somebody that has a big age disparity between you and that person. It could be a time where you might be attracted to somebody that might be connected with Uranus-like fields, such as computers, electronics, astrology, and esoteric subjects in general, aerospace, science. So those are some things to look at as far as this transit goes. And it could just be where a person might become more interested in some kind of unique or unusual form of games or sports, even like chess boxing, for example. And And it could be a time too, as far as amusement and fun goes, this could be a time where you might have different ways of enjoying yourself that you compared to what you do ordinarily. It could be that maybe you take up a hobby that would be connected with Uranus, such as something connected with aerospace, or even something like, especially if you're a younger age, like radio controlled vehicles, because this has to do with electronics and Uranus is associated with that. Maybe taking up a hobby like an esoteric subject like astrology, or just something very unusual that maybe a lot of other people don't really have much of an interest in, or really it's just not commonplace for a lot of people, or common. And also, and it could be a time where you might find some unusual ways as far as entertainment may go for you. So anyway, those are some things to look at with Uranus transiting the 5th house in a natal chart. Now, it's important to look at the aspects, if any, that are made from this transit to your natal planets and points in your chart, as this could impact the transit. Now, let's say, for example, that transit Uranus is making a conjunction to your natal Neptune. I should say transit Uranus in your natal 5th house making a conjunction to your natal Neptune. Well, this could be a time where you may fantasize and dream about things connected with computers, innovation, electronics, esoteric subjects, and being in the 5th, maybe it's something where maybe you and a romantic partner might try to collaborate on this, perhaps making this dream or fantasy a reality, or maybe even with children if they're at an age where their minds are sophisticated enough to actually help you. And anyway, let's take another example. Let's say that transit Uranus in your 5th house is making a square, inconjunct, or opposition to your natal Pluto. Well, this could indicate perhaps sudden upheavals and disruptions that may conflict with possible major change or transformation you are trying to attempt. And being in the 5th, this might be these disruptions, maybe they're connected with children. It could be some upheavals with romance as well. And anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for Uranus transiting the 5th house in a natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about Uranus transiting the 6th house in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.